Okay, call everything to order at 8:30. Motion to accept agenda as presented, Councillor Warwick. All in favor? Carried. Delegation library.
Oh, she canceled.
She canceled? Okay,
No, we
sorry.
sent out a new package.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well, I didn't see me back there, I apologize. Public presentation, Martha, here's your time to shine.
We have a podium.
Sandra?
I'm not gonna go up to the
No, it's fine.
podium. I just wanted to thank CAO Norburn, the town administration and the councilors for the wonderful retirement gift. And I apologize for not getting out and thanking earlier. So I just wanted to thank you all. So thanks so much.
Thank you.
For years of service.
Yeah. Mr. Matthew, you're up to bat.
Through the chair, so just an update of what we've been working on. The ATCO land, we sent that back for the council office. Still haven't heard back from them. But I did chat to the guy and he didn't seem overly worried about the conditions we put in. So I guess it's just a waiting game now. Brent and I met with, oh no, it wasn't Brent, it was Wes, and we met with MP regarding our infrastructure and capital plans going forward. I just think we needed to review those because I think some things keep getting pushed down the line of our capital. So we're gonna make that a year-long plan so that when we come to the budget next year that we have a better plan for our capital projects. There's still some money left for the lagoon study, so they're gonna add some more things to that to get that completed. I attended the Lynx meeting where they talked about getting this, they wanted to buy a container that they could grow their own food in. The idea is that they become more self-reliant, that they don't have to rely on grants for their programming, because sometimes they change the grants and won't fund the kind of programming they're already doing, so they have to adjust. So they're looking for a way to become more self-sufficient.
Where would that unit be placed? Would that be positioned on town property, private property, or?
Yeah, I don't think they have a plan for that just yet. This is the very early stages of their discussions. So yeah, and I think we have some issues with containers in town, so we'd have to adjust that.
It's got to be service too, like the law.
Yeah, they did talk about like maybe adding solar to it or something like that, but it's a very expensive venture, and a lot of other work besides just growing the food inside of it. It's like the marketing of that, making sure you have purchasers, or it'd be could be a bad investment.
Matthew, it's actually doesn't have to be a container. It can be, like Youngstown has one at the school. They got that tarp shed, whatever it is.
And they're not reconditioned containers, they're fully built from me, right? So it's not like a repurposed container.
They're a neat little unit. They're all over the north. You go up in the northern reserves, you see these things. I've had romaine lettuce and Pangyurtung Nunavut, which they grew, which is cool. And it's basically the same thing. They're pretty neat, but
yeah, they have a lot of work to do before they get to that point. We started the process with Cube Investments to transfer our funds, signing documents and giving them information. And I attended an MPC meeting regarding residential units above a commercial property. It's pretty much been the last couple weeks.
Any questions, Matthew?
I was going to ask, how's that land sale there on Main Street?
The one where the greenhouse was? Yeah, that all went through. So he's gonna wait till spring because there was an environmental assessment done, I guess, around 20 years ago, which wasn't the best. So he's hoping after 20 years, if he does another environmental assessment, it's a lot better than the last one. And then he will start figuring out his plan from there.
Okay. Sky?
I am seeking direction from council on the development of a community standards bylaw The purpose of a community standards bylaw is to establish distinct enforceable expectations for behavior and property conditions so that a community can remain safe, beautiful, and livable. Community standard bylaws are often unique to each town's needs and their complaints received. And common sections comparable municipalities include is property maintenance and unsightly premises, snow and ice removal and nuisances. Sections other times included are public behavior, waste storage and overflowing bins. And ideas based on complaints I have received are light shining into neighboring premises. And I think the town planner should include in theirs property maintenance and unsightly premises, snow removal and ice removal, nuisances including noise, dust, smoke, pests, light shining into neighboring premises. And a community standards bylaw could repeal and replace the unsightly premises and snow removal bylaw. Incorporate the noise section of the noise control and special events bylaw, keeping the special events section its own bylaw.
How do we get rid of ice? The town can't do it with their grader.
No, I just meant like, when it snows, if people like salt the ice or, they can try to chip away the ice if they can on
Yeah,
their
I know.
sidewalks.
You walk out here on the front step out here and see how much ice there is out there. I damn near fell on my butt this morning.
Oh, gee, add that to everybody else that walked in.
You
We'll
know,
have to let it Fred know.
Yeah.
better start knowing.
Yeah.
Before you start forcing something else.
So it's not ice removal, it's just salt in the ice.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I meant.
So you're looking for a framework that you can use, so that way if somebody says, it's not like you're making up the standards, you're not making up the policies, you're asking us to approve something as a policy that we then you can say, because of this policy, I can go after pests, or I can go after, ice, or I can go after a car that isn't licensed or insured, or all the wonderful stuff. Are there any other municipalities around that you've looked at what they have? or-
Yeah, I was looking at Rocky Mountain House, Sundre, Penhold, Grimshaw, Fairview, and Athabasca.
Close start, yeah. Each and every one.
No,
They're-
Grimshaw's the same,
Yeah.
Fairview's the same, they're all roughly the same. The counties might be bigger, but, the towns are the
Towns are
same.
about the same.
Councilor Roy?
I guess my only concern with this is having a blanket, standard is kind of even what the citizen complaint I had last night. You know, the very complaint was, do we have a standard for everybody? Because seemingly we have enforcement on some and people are enforced to do what the bylaw says. And then we had a situation last night where it's been, and some of it I realize is out of our control. Are we going to have the enforcement to have the same standard for everybody? So if my property has ice in front of it and your property does, are you going to enforce it at every level for everybody?
Yes.
And so I guess that would be my concern with what this looks like in a community standard.
I think I just changed it from ice removal, like
Yeah.
clarify that.
Sidewalk clearing.
Yeah,
You need
'cause
somebody that's-
the current bylaw is called snow and ice removal. So,
Yeah.
yeah, but it just.
So on that note, I was wondering, should we maybe not have, and as other communities have it, a sand salt bin that residents have access to?
You can't use salt on sidewalks. Each sidewalk.
Yeah, well, then it's a salt bin or sand bin,
Would that be like a public works thing?
but
Like-
people are already using salt on their sidewalks.
No.
Well, it's environmental friendly.
Yeah,
And
no,
I
I
mean,
just-
that's a nice touch to be able to have that, then you could say, well, if you need the salt, you need to sand down your thing. Well, I don't have sand. Well,
Bring a bucket.
here you go. Here you go. I mean, they did that in Airdrie where we were too.
Some other
We
places
used it
will
all.
do that, they'll provide sand to residents.
just a thought.
That's a good idea.
But the aim of this meeting, like this discussion, is to get your guys' ideas and feedback, what you want in a community standards bylaw or what you don't want. And again, you know, our bark is always worse than our bite when we enforce bylaws, so, we just wanna set some clear standards on things.
I appreciate it, you do, Scott, you're doing great on, you know, and stuff, but, are we overpowering or what are we, you know?
I think there's some good stuff in here though, like accumulation of materials and stuff like that's,
Oh,
like the unsightly premises stuff, I'm totally behind that. Property maintenance, I think it'll just be trickier when it gets to the snow and ice stuff, enforcing it and whatnot. But even nuisances, I think, those all make sense to me.
I had a resident complain about a dumpster up on 12th. And the funny part is the dumpster is empty, but they have been stacking around the dumpster. And so I reached back out to the resident and I said, well, the dumpster is empty. I said, it's not overflowing. I said, so that would be the people who use that dumpster not putting it in the dumpster. And so when I talked to him, he was very understanding of it. And so I reached out to, it's a E360 bin up there, and I asked them, I said, so I realize you guys are picking up dumpsters. I said, do you fill overflow back in? He said, no, we don't. That's okay. So it's up to residents up there. So yeah, I have no problem with cleaning it up, I guess, for lack of a better.
Especially the derelict vehicles on private property, like I'm totally behind you enforcing that, it just doesn't look nice.
the one question I got is the light shining into neighboring premises, you know. Is that something
Like
that we put in?
The issue I had was this one neighbor had really bright Christmas lights and they were shining in the other neighbor's house.
Oh.
And they actually showed me pictures that they like couldn't go to sleep because it was so bright in their house.
The other thing
But
too is
they're-
like sensor lights, right? Cause
Yeah.
ours was pointed in a way where our neighbors that have moved since, probably because of us, no, we actually changed them, but every time the sensor light went off in the night, it shone into their room, and we didn't, it was actually Caitlin and Brayden, so it was their house. Yes, and we didn't even realize like how bright it was, or that when it went off, that's where, so you know, we adjusted or whatever, but I imagine that could actually, my parents had an issue in the town they lived in where the sensor light was right and just going off all night, so I can see.
Yeah, and there wasn't really a section to like address that complaint.
Right.
And I know like Fairview has that in their community standards bylaw, and Drumheller does too, but they're a lot bigger than us.
I can see that happening.
Well, these new LEDs
Yeah.
are so focused and they're so bright.
The magical thing of it all is enforcement.
Yeah.
We can have all the rules in the world, and if we can't enforce them, then we're stuck. So, but I think we need to give Sky the tools
Yeah.
to do her job, so.
Absolutely.
Okay, you wanna work on that one then?
I'm fine with all, like, it's,
Yeah.
I would just say, like I said, like the ice removal, just rewording it or whatever, reworking that, but I think that this is all very reasonable.
Is graffiti an issue?
No, but that was included in the unsightly
Yeah,
premises.
no, I just,
bylaw.
yeah,
I haven't had an issue with it, but I
Okay.
assume like I would just carry over everything that's already in the
Yeah.
unsightly.
That's fair in case it
Bylaw.
becomes a problem.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Get ahead of the game.
Yeah.
awesome.
Do you think, Scott, like when we look at unsightly buildings and structures, is this gonna position the town once again to have to step in, do you think, with some of the unsightly buildings that we have in town
Yeah.
to have to do more removal on the backs of taxpayers?
I had a complaint that there's this one building that was kind of falling apart and had broken windows and everything. And there was concerns about like cats going inside and everything. But I haven't had any like other complaints about that, just that one this year, but.
It's one of those things that, be careful what we wish for.
Mhm.
Unintended consequences.
So do you want the go-ahead? Is that what
Sure.
you're asking
Yeah,
for?
let's start writing it.
Yeah, we can't do it today, but we can definitely,
Yeah.
we can
I have-
verbalize it.
Even
Yeah,
written
she
it,
just
but
wanted feedback.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I just
Just what
yeah,
you want.
yeah.
Yeah,
You
before I
betcha.
start running anything, just in case.
Yeah. Perfect. Council remuneration,
Yeah, through the churn to council, so I reviewed council
remuneration,
Yeah,
what Danny said.
for different municipalities. So what I looked at is I looked at all the towns in Alberta. I looked at where our population was. I looked at 5 towns below our population and 5 towns just above our population, which are the ones that are listed, and to see what they pay their councillors and what their meal and travel allowances are. So this gives us an overview of where we fall in that. If you scroll down towards the bottom, I think there is a summary, like the mayor's salary is right in the middle, 5 out of 10. Councillor's salary is right towards the bottom, 7 out of 10. Mileage, we're completely at the bottom, 10 out of 10. Meal allowances were again towards the lowest end of those. So it's probably been some time since this was reviewed, probably why we are at the lowest end of these. We see things like mileage rates. A lot of them go by the CRA rate. Some go by provincial, but they follow other things, so they don't have to update it every year. They're just following whatever the province provides. Meeting and compensation is all over the place. You know, about they structured that. So, you know, that would be on council's direction how they would want to adjust that if they chose to. Again, they do different things with meals as well. You know, with some just have a daily maximum, and some have you know, set rates for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But yeah, so this is just to show you what's out there for similar size municipalities, and if you're looking to adjust it, then this would be a base to work from.
Do other councils adjust like for their remuneration? Do they have like a cost of living increase or fix it on inflation?
Some do. Like every year, it's adjusted for inflation.
Mhm.
So just automatically, some organizations have a committee that comes in and reviews it, and which I think might overcomplicate it. But if you just have these set things that trigger it, like you copy CRA, you adjust it every year for inflation, then you don't have to, get into deep debate over it. I think we've probably just fallen behind over the years here. So there'd be a boost, and then you would have to say, okay, every year from now on, so that we don't fall behind, we match inflation and we stay with either the provincial rates or the CRA rates.
Yeah, if we chose one of those rates, we would just do it automatically adjust, right?
For meals and for mileage, that would be,
Mileage and meals,
it's your other fees, your meeting.
Right. It just seems easier, these towns that have the CRA rate or the government account rate.
Yeah.
They don't have to revisit it every year, I'm sure.
I mean, in the documentation, what is the difference on, say, mileage between the provincial rate and CRA?
Okay,
I know it's a lot, yeah.
10 cents.
the CRA rate is 56.5.
Wow.
So we don't want that one.
Is it? Mine saying that
Yeah, I don't
the
think
first
that's,
5,000 kilometers, 0.73, and then after that it's 0.67. And then the Alberta is 56.5, so I don't know, unless this is.
well, I have 57 for the province, but yeah,
That's correct.
I had 56 for, but that's not correct for me.
Not from my knowledge.
It's different in the territories, but
It's 72 cents. the CRA.
This for 2026, the rate is 0.73 per kilometer for the first 5,000 and 0.67 per kilometer for additional kilometers in it.
I don't think any of us would hit 5,000.
I was gonna say, I better not be driving 5,000 kilometers.
Altogether, maybe.
That would be for stretch.
Yeah.
No, I realize that. Would it be fair to, say that if we went by the provincial standard, that would accommodate appropriately the mileage expense?
I'd rather see us look in with something like that, so we
I
don't
think
fall
it is.
behind.
The wear and tear on your vehicle and these gas, that would probably.
The Alberta meal allowance is a lot lower too, which I think was brought up before the council meeting, that the meal allowance isn't covering your meals when you're out.
Well, I don't think anywhere in the province right now, you can have a meal for $20, a supper meal. And we found that out at our last meeting downtown Calgary. That was absolutely an impossible adventure.
You can't go to McDonald's for $20. I'm sorry. You can't go to NW. You can't go anywhere for $20.
I mean, when we look at, I think I did send a chart, we look at other, like the school division. Did we review those? This is quite a bit different than ours.
My prairies living large.
Never been up there, it's expensive.
Yeah. I know.
They're living large, but it's not unrealistic.
No, I know, that's what I'm
Like,
saying.
I'm
I'm saying compared to us, it
Yeah,
looks like they are,
yeah,
but it's not.
it's, well, you go to the Grave for breakfast and it's $15.
I was gonna say like $10 for breakfast unless you're gonna get a bagel at Tim's or something.
And sometimes you go to conferences or breakfast is included.
Yeah,
So like I can see where Sexsmith and Common just have a daily rate.
Yeah.
As long as you don't go over that daily, like, so you might have your breakfast and lunch. So if you're going out for supper, you've got $120 to spend on supper.
I actually like the daily rate idea because some people don't eat breakfast or don't eat lunch or whatever.
CF has their breakfast at $24.35, their lunch at $24.65, and their dinner rate is at $60.
Who's that? So?
Community teachers.
Oh,
I mean, the daily max I think is probably more important than the breakdown of,
yeah.
Yeah. Because
which is kind of almost bean counting in some ways between the two. Like if you like Erica was saying, if you're only eating 2 meals a day, then you're only eating 2 meals a day at the end of the day. Of course, and again, when I eat 2, it's gonna be one.
we actually don't have a daily max in hand. We have, if you have anything over top of these numbers, you have to provide a receipt.
Yeah.
If you're over these numbers, we actually don't have a daily max.
Is a daily max something you guys would consider? Is it?
And I think that's fair. We leave it at that. Honestly, if you were at a conference and it's costing you more if you provide that receipt, I think that's good to provide for it. You can be compensated for that.
I would be fine with the receipt and then having a daily max, because I mean, we don't want, we've all been to Ruth Chris.
Yeah.
We don't need to go to Ruth Chris for supper. I mean, I think the cheapest steak I seen at Ruth Chris was $85. And that was those little baseball deals.
Yeah.
So,
That wasn't good.
they were really good, but yes. I think we can just leave our,
Yeah.
well, we could, even if we went to something like Nat with the 15, 15 and 30 and put a daily max in at 120. With receipts.
Yeah.
It's no receipts, 15, 15, 30.
Yeah.
And then receipts up to a max of 120.
You want to reduce lunch to 15 from 20?
I'm just saying with receipts, you still can be over, but your maximum daily expenditure has to be, without a receipt, it's $15.
Right.
And, but you can go 20. I'm just throwing spitball.
Yeah.
No.
Let's just say a maximum of $120 with receipts, and I don't think any of us have ever gotten anywhere near that.
No, like Matthew said, usually like some of the meals are provided anyway,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
But it would be nice if there was a daily max and you could spend a little more on dinner because you didn't have breakfast.
Well, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So if we do, then we can go 20, 20 and 50 if you want. That's 90
Yeah, it doesn't.
and without a receipt, and then receipts up to a maximum of 120. I'm just throwing numbers out, folks. So-
One of those.
I think that's more than fair. I mean, we're not looking to make money. but
No.
We should be covering our
Getting
bills every
covered.
month.
Well, and that's how this whole conversation came up,
Yeah.
because when I have a meeting in town that runs all day, it costs me more to hire somebody to work for me than and I'm not making money. I didn't sign up to make $1 on this, but it shouldn't cost me more to
Do it.
yeah. So 20, 50.
I think that sounds fair.
So 20, 50, and then a max of 120 per day.
I think that's more than.
Oh,
fair.
you need receipts.
So
Yeah.
anything over 20, and 50, you need receipts.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
Like that?
Yep.
What about mileage?
I was just gonna get to mileage. That's my next attack. So if we go to mileage, let me just scroll up here for 1 second.
Provincial
Up.
averages business stuff.
Go 60 cents on mileage,
Yeah, I think that's, yeah.
I'd put it with like one of those.
put it with CRA. What's CRA's rate, Matthew?
Was it 71 or 73? I think
Oh.
it was.
73.
73.
But at least either that or the provincial, then it's pegged. Then you don't.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
Then you
We're
don't
not
have to play
floating it,
around
right?
with it again.
It looks like the CRA rate is kind of where it's at. It seems a lot of municipalities use that. Well, just based on your research here.
And those are not rich municipalities that
No.
are doing that. Like Sexsmith isn't, Athabasca isn't.
And our vehicles are not getting cheaper, our
Beaver
insurance
Lodge
is not getting cheaper, and our fuel isn't getting cheaper either.
Yeah. I get
71
that.
cents a kilometer is not a lot of money for travel. It's not what we do in our
He's getting
business, let me
increased
tell
there
you.
From 50.
They're smaller than us.
Or we could just go with the 60-cent thing and then
I would go with a rate though, because then it just adjusts. You don't have to keep. coming
yeah, but
back.
then we gotta readjust our forms every month, every year, and
That's a big deal. Is that a lot of work? No.
okay. Okay, so pick a rate.
The CRA rate, was that the 71? Or was that the?
CRA is the higher one. Provincial rate is lower.
I do the CRA rate. Well, I guess it doesn't matter.
I think because you're kind of remote too, and you usually pay a little bit higher for gas than people in the closer to the,
Corridor.
yeah.
Okay, so CRA rate is what I'm hearing for the majority, nodding their heads, and Fred's got a,
Well, I'm just thinking, because I sit on 2 boards, and the one pays 67. I really don't know what it is.
I'm on one that
I know it's
pays,
pretty good money.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm on one that pays 75 and another one that pays $1, so.
30 miles, right?
Yeah.
I think 71 cents is not outlandish.
It's not unreasonable at all.
Okay, so CRA rate for mileage is the consensus I'm hearing,
Yeah,
and meetings.
Is it standard in the other jurisdictions to have much difference between, say, an in-town and out-of-town meeting? Like, just for example, if I'm doing an in-town, I'm doing video conference, I'm still not working.
Yeah.
I'm still out, it doesn't matter if I'm sitting there in my pajamas or whatever, I'm not doing my job. Yes, there would be one, of course, if it was in town, there'd be less mileage, which would mean,
But that doesn't reflect the
Yeah.
meeting itself. so.
yeah, doesn't mean, yeah, exactly.
yeah, some of those are like, yeah.
Do the other jurisdictions make difference between in-town, out-of-town, like in-house?
I think there was only like Sexsmith that had something where they talked about going to the listed places.
I like sundries format.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Now
That's
hourly
the
is nice.
same way.
Yeah, an hourly is nice.
Yeah.
So make it 30 an hour. That's kind of between the two.
Yeah, that equals close to. But that's not outrageous, I don't think. You look at a 4-hour meeting times 30. It's like $20 more than we get.
5, yeah, 30 wouldn't be, yeah, 30,
I think 30 is
30s,
fair.
30s are good.
And then,
Councilor Warwick, you've got more meetings than most of us. What do you say?
Yeah.
Well, it's a board you sit on. I'm not being,
It is true, when you look at it, and truthfully, I'm kind of with what, Counselor Hunter said, you don't have to take a day off. Anyhow, I was really concerned about the mileage, because I feel like that was really low, but, yeah, I'd be okay with that. I'm doing the comparables with the other boards that I sit on in comparison to what they pay. And that, probably that $30 would probably align itself, quite well, yeah.
Yeah, because it's,
and that's meeting time. That's not from the time you leave till the time you
Yeah.
get back. That's meeting time.
Yeah, that seems fair. Just, you know, some kind of compensation for the time off.
So you round it up or round it down to the closest hour.
and then do you want to set like every year it goes up by inflation, or leave it for a few years and then?
Just leave it, I think, for a few years and then we can
We'll try
review
it
it.
out.
I mean, it's,
See how it works.
it's not that difficult, so.
yeah, $30 rate for the Zoom meetings, that's, what I get. I'm getting paid already with 2 boards. Sit on.
And yeah, Mr. Mayor, that's the other thing too, is, we're not coming back to the town for compensation for a lot of these. For some of the boards we're sitting on, we're actually getting compensated through them, so this is not, but for the ones that we do, you know, and that's minimal, actually. More so conferences and stuff that we're assuming this kind of, wage or per diem on.
That give you some meat and potatoes, Matthew, to work with.
Yeah, did you want to attempt salaries for mayor and council? Because you're pretty much at the low ends of those.
I'm not afraid to say I'm fine with what I get. I'm not in this for the money, so I'm not popular with that decision, but it's.
Yeah, I'm not.
I think one of the councillors mentioned at one of the meetings that to attract other people to run and the commitments that they have to give, that maybe
Well, it's a huge, it's a commitment. I mean, it's not, when I recruited everybody and then phoned everybody trying to, you know, it's basically on paper, it's 20 hours a week commitment. I mean, some weeks are more, some weeks are less, some are a lot less, but.
and I know, like, I talked to B-Budge because I used to work those are their current rates, but they're reviewing those right now. So their rates are gonna go up.
Well, and also too, I mean, the question I will ask is when we are paying our staff, it's gonna be also reflected on inflation, is it not too? On their salaries and everything else. If you
No.
haven't, or, you know, is that a fair thing that you're compensating for cost of living?
So right now we have a
No.
COLA on our.
Yeah.
But it's usually less than,
Yeah, but there is a reflected even automatic formula or anything like that, so that way.
it's not automatic though, but we.
No, if we give staff a 3%, we get a 3%.
Okay, now I'm just kind of curious because that way, if you did it, peg it, say something to an inflation, then it's out of our hands. It just happens. We don't have to chat with them about it or nothing in the
No.
future.
No. Because there's issues once in a while. You take a negative and you never see somebody taking a rollback on their wages when,
Mhm.
because that's where the big issue is, tying it to,
Right.
yeah.
So it is the councillor one that is more lower. The mayor one is salary wise is, but I think the councillor one was it 7? I think it was 7 out of 10 or. Yeah, councillors,
Yeah.
you rank 7th out of those 10. for councillor pay.
We do get other perks though, that
Yeah, exactly.
not other.
Well, some of them do too. Other, like Three Hills, they get clothing allowance for councillors. Yeah, so they all get.
I don't know what.
What about Vulcan? Do they get those free uniforms? They need them. They need them. That's cost of living now.
So all municipalities will give like some kind of like training allowance, phone allowance, internet allowance, tech allowance. So it's just varied how it is. So
I'm with Danny, I didn't do this for compensation, so personally, I don't really care either way.
Fred, I can see you thinking and itching. I should get pretty good at reading you when you start leaning ahead a little bit.
Well, I'm happy with what we get, you know, I mean.
Somebody has to be at the top and somebody has to be at the bottom. I mean, I'm not saying we're at the bottom, but I mean, again, yeah,
We're kind of like a ham sandwich, we're in the middle.
yeah, exactly.
You know, so I mean,
With a little lettuce.
Nobody likes
and mayo.
bread.
Yeah.
So I think we're good with those, Matthew.
perfect. Leave them as is. Okay.
I think there has been councils over the years that have given up their honoraries or premiums if they didn't feel like you just don't have to submit either if you feel like.
Well, and that's, I do a lot of, hour-long things that I don't submit a per diem for. I just, I'm not comfortable submitting that for that purpose. I realize it's within my realm to do that, but I don't. I mean, but everybody do your thing. As long as we don't get out of hand, then we're fine, right? Okay, let's give you some homework to do now.
Yeah, we'll bring it to a future council meeting.
That's it for now.
Tour time.
Tour time. We will adjourn at 9:08.